Hey guys, welcome to another 31 Horror Toys and 31 Days review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Toy Biz Danny Ketch Ghost Rider figure. And this is Marvel Legends, by the way. And this motorcycle here is actually just a quick little custom that my brother made. So I don't actually have the motorcycle that he originally came with, so unfortunately I cannot review that part. But this is a pretty cool thing to show next to it. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles motorcycle with a piece of cardboard that's been painted and cut out to the right shape. So, let's take a look at the figure here, which is really cool. I do like this figure. There are some slight complaints, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's start out by taking a look at his sculpt and paint. So, let me get the focus in here. I like the face sculpt and the fire sculpt here, the flame sculpt. The paint is a bit of a problem. It looks like candy corn, to be honest. It's not done too well. A little bit more shading, maybe a little darker in some areas. This just reminds me of Heat Miser from A Year Without a Santa Claus or something like that. That's pretty much sums it up. But the sculpt of it does look nice. It has a flamey effect to it, and the skull part looks really good. I like the way it's painted too. It looks kind of gross looking, to be honest. It has some rotted looks to it. And then inside there you can see his red eyes. I think that's a nice touch, having these big, dark, black, peering eyes. Except for, I'm pretty sure that, doesn't Ghost Rider usually have, I don't know, this is just something I thought of. Doesn't he have flame showing through the eyes? I'm not sure. But I do like this look better, even if he does. So, I know that the newer one that just came out, here he is. This is the Johnny Blaze figure. Yeah, he has flame eyes, so it's not quite as dark. But I do like this look better, to be honest. We'll take a look at him in a second in comparison. Okay, and then the sculpt of the body I like quite a bit, except for the arms looking maybe a little too long. I do like the sculpt of the jacket here, all these spikes, which all the spikes are rubbery, so you don't have to worry about killing your children by letting them touch it. Okay, and then the spikes on the shoulders look really good as well. I like all these little details here, all the little fabric detail, like, look at that. That is amazing. I do find it weird how his neck is so orange there. I feel like the Marvel Legends one did that better by showing the spine with the flame erupting underneath it. This one looks maybe a little too thick. But that may be for articulation's sake. The sculpt on the back is pretty good. I like how this hinge here sort of just locks into place and is not too noticeable. That looks pretty good. There's the back of the figure there. Focus keeps going out. And then on one side of his leg here, he has the spikes, the other side not. And then spikes up here, just spikes everywhere, a little bit everywhere. And then he has this chain here, which I love the look of the chain on a Ghost Rider. And Danny Ketch, I believe, was the first Ghost Rider to use the chain as a weapon. And then later Johnny Blaze started using it, and then in the freaking Ghost Rider movie, he used it like way more than Johnny Blaze ever used it. Okay, so this is actually removable. It's got this little hinge joint here, so that you could like ply it around and move it around. But it's also, if you just pull it apart, now you've got your chain, so you can put it in his hand as an accessory. I like that quite a bit, although it does fit in the other hand better. This hand doesn't close as well, so it kind of just dangles. But I do like the look of that. If you put a little bendy wire through this, you could shape it around. That would look really cool. I may end up doing that. But just seeing this alone looks really cool to me. Yeah, he has a very dynamic sculpt to him, and the great articulation that he has does make it easy to display him in certain ways. One mention of the sculpt is he is sculpted in a way where he's posed to sit on a motorcycle, so it's a bit wide in the stance, whereas you can see with the Marvel Legends new one, he can bring his legs all close together, and yet could probably still ride a motorcycle. They didn't do that with this one. But that's okay, because I feel like this wide stance does lend to him standing up very easily, just basically. In any pose you really put him in, you just flatten out his feet and he pretty much stands. So I do like that quite a bit. Okay, so let's put this chain back over him. Oh well, actually let's take a look. It's got just nice little links in there. There's no paint detail, which I don't think would be needed on an actual metal chain. Pretty nice. And this part clips in here, as you can see. Those are the two joints. So let's put that back on him now. And bring that around the other side, and it just snaps in real easy. There we... No. You have to apply a little bit of pressure, and then there we are. Perfect. So it just sits on his side there. I do like that quite a bit. Okay, so the paint and sculpt on him is solid. The dry brushing on him just everywhere, that's a nice touch. I like the nice black of the jacket, and then the gray of the pants. It makes a nice variation. Okay, so basically let's talk about articulation now, since we've pretty much taken a look at everything. Might as well point out, I do like the way the color of his jacket is. It's just really cool. I feel like Danny Ketch was the coolest Ghost Rider. He had the cooler motorcycle, he had the chain, he had the cooler jacket. Just, like, to be honest. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation. Start out, the head can move full 360 there. It's actually got 2 points of articulation, but this second one's kind of a moot point. There's no real reason for it. I feel like it may just be a waste of time. But anyway, he can look up that much and look down that much. He can look quite a bit far down, not an extreme amount up. He has a little bit of head pivot too. I like that. It's expressive. And then you could have him pointing and like, guilty. Brr. Yeah. Okay, and then at the shoulders, he does a full 360 spin. He can move up. It's very tight at the shoulders, but he can move up fully, like completely straight up. Let's bring that back down. Oh, that's tight. Okay, and then he has this butterfly joint here, which means that he can move forward quite a distance, except for the other one's not quite as loose, and it can only go about that much. It looks a little weird as well, but that helps if you want to get him in a weird motorcycle pose, I guess. Okay, and then at the bicep here, there's a swivel, full 360. And then at the elbows, double joints. And then there's a spin at the forearm. No spin at the wrist, but an articulated joint there that goes back and forth. And then at the fingers, he can move inward and outward, which it's the same on the other side here. We'll just take a quick look there. I can move up, spin, double joint. Yep, everything's about good. Except for you can make a better fist with this hand than you can with the other. Just saying. Okay, and then on the waist here, he can do a full 360 spin. He can bend forward that much, bend backward that much. Get a little bit of pivot there as well. Then another spin joint at the waist. And then at the hips, he can kick forward that much. Kick off to the side that much. He can get a full splits going on. That's just crazy. Okay. And then at the knees, actually at the thigh, there's a full 360 spin there. Double jointed knees. Do we have a boot cut? Nope, no boot cut. But he does have ankle articulation that goes back and forth quite a bit, like quite a real bit, except for I feel like his feet maybe are a little too big, but that helps for standing up as well. And then he does have some ankle pivot, not an amazing amount though. See that? That little tiny bit there. Let's see how far he can get in a split pose with both feet flat on the floor. That's about it right there. Not too impressive. But still pretty cool. And then he also has toe articulation, which is good for, having him in its sort of jumping pose or running pose. And that's basically it. That's all the articulation, which is quite a bit. There's probably over 23 points of articulation, which is something that all Toy Biz Marvel Legends really touted back in the day, and now most figures actually have. So, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about this figure. Make sure to stick around for some size comparisons. And what's my opinion on this guy? I actually like him quite a bit. He's probably my favorite Ghost Rider figure. I do like the Hasbro one that just came out, but I just don't feel like it captures the essence of Ghost Rider, at least not the Ghost Rider that I prefer. He's got this tiny chain, he's got this whopping chain, it's much more pimp, it's all awesome. He's got a better leather jacket and all the spikes, it's like more of a punk look. This one's just more of a, professional stuntman look. So that's my preference. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stick around for those size comparisons. Here's the Toy Biz Ghost Rider next to the Toy Biz Blade figure. Here he is next to your mama. And here he is next to Hillary Clinton.